Hey everybody, this is Dr. Slater. We are talking about Unit 7, Lesson 4, Activity 4.3, comparing points on a line. And we've got all these points on a line. And let's first off talk about how to describe these points using this vocabulary that we've been focusing on before. So let's see, I have to use greater than. Greater than means I'm further to the right. So how about n is greater than m? I use less than. How about n is less than p? Opposites of. What are opposites here? Let me count here. So n is 2 spaces away, and there's nothing that's the opposite of it. 2 spaces on the other side of 0, so I can't talk about that. M is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, m and p are opposites because they're the same distance from 0 on opposite sides. M and p are opposites. I have to use negative numbers. Let me see. All m and n are negative numbers. These are not the only answers you could give, although I think that's the only pair of opposites we have. But you might be able to say other sentences that have to deal with less than and greater than. Sorry, got an extra bit of text. Let's get rid of that. All right. So now what I'm going to be doing is going to be drawing on this number line and then erasing and drawing and then erasing. So we have to figure out what's going on if we've got different points. So tell what the value at each point would be if p is 2.5. So if I put here that this is 2.5, let's make that a little bit larger so you can see it well. So I usually, when I do mixed numbers, I type the fraction first and then move my cursor up. That's 2.5. We can move that up here. What are all the other numbers? Well, let's take a look at how we are counting. If I'm counting here, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, 5 times what is 2.5? Well, it may be helpful here to think about the fact that as an improper fraction, this is 5 halves. So that means what I'm doing here is I'm counting by 1/2. So let's make that note first. So each tick mark is 1/2. So that means when I'm counting by 1/2. So let's see, let's do R. 1/2, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4. R is 4. Here we go. 0, negative 1/2, negative 1. N is negative 1. And I already know what m is because it's an opposite, but I can still count it off. Negative 1/2, negative 1, negative 1.5, negative 2, negative 2.5. M is negative 2.5. Cool. So once we know what we're counting by, everything else is pretty straightforward. So I'm going to have to go back and forth here. I'm going to trash what I have here because we're now going to be counting in a different way. Let's see. N is negative 4/10. All right, n is negative 4/10. Negative 4/10. Right there. How did we get there? 2 steps gets us to negative 4/10. So if I divide that by 2, I'm going to get 2/10. All right, so what I have to do is I have to say that each tick mark is 2/10. And what are the other numbers? All right, 2/10, 4/10, 6/10, 8/10, 10 tenths, or 1, P is 1, 1.2, 1.4, 1 and 6 tenths. So P is 1 and R is 1 and 6 tenths. M is the opposite of P. P was 1, so M better be negative 1, but we can check that. Negative 2 tenths, negative 4 tenths, negative 6 tenths, negative 8 tenths, negative 10 tenths, negative 1. M is negative 1. All right, R is going to be 200. Okay, so we better erase what we have here. Oh, no, I'm going to have to do it the other way. R is 200. So I need to make a markup here, say that I'm supposed to be getting to 200. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What is 200 divided by 8? Use a calculator, that's fine. I happen to know that it's 25. So each tick mark is 25. So we're counting by 25s. All right, so 25, 50, 75, 100. P is 125. All right, if we go in the negative direction, negative 25, negative 50, M is negative 50. And again, we better know what M is because it's the opposite of P, but we'll count off. Negative 75, negative 100, negative 125. So N is negative 50. M is negative 125. Yay, okay. One last one to do. So we are looking at M is negative 15. Okay. So get rid of you. Oh, hold on. I got rid of me. All right, you won't see me for a while. That's fine. M is negative 15. So what I have to do is I have to put a negative 15 up here. And I got there by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. Each tick mark is 3. So if we're counting, N is going to be negative 3, negative 6. N is negative 6. P should be the opposite of M. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Great. 18, 21, 24. So P is 15. And R is 24. All right, so what we've been able to do in this exercise is do a lot of thinking about the vocabulary we focused on with positive, negative numbers, rational numbers, and we thought a lot about ordering things and finding values.